Greetings, Earthlings. I'm back with a review of maybe the best interface for live streaming and podcasting.
So today I'm reviewing this guy, the Tascam Mini Studio Creator US42. If you are interested in this interface, it'll set you back around $200 on Amazon, as per usual, link in the description. And for this video, I'm using the Rode NT1 with 48 volts phantom power turned on and the gain set at around 45%. I will do no post-processing to the audio, but I may boost it in post, so make sure to check the doobly-doo for more information. Now let's go ahead and talk about what comes in the box. Obviously, you're gonna get the interface. You get a USB cable, and you get some documentation. As far as the build quality, this thing just does not feel that great. It has an all-plastic construction, and it just feels really cheaply manufactured. As far as specs, this thing has a bit depth of 16 or 24 bit, a sampling rate of 44.1 through 96 kilohertz, a plus 48 volt phantom power supply, a gain of plus 45 decibels, and a max headphone output of 32 ohms. Now let's go ahead and walk through all the features on this interface. On the top of the interface, the first thing you'll find are two XLR combo jacks, which accept XLR or 1/4 inch inputs. In between those, you'll find a VU meter for both the left and right channels. Beneath that, you'll find the settings for channel 1 and 2. For each channel, you have 3 settings. The top selection will be for condenser microphones, and it offers around 45 volts of phantom power. The middle option is what you're going to want to use when you are using a dynamic microphone, and the last setting is what you will set the interface to while recording an instrument. In between those settings, you will find the volume for the reverb, then you'll find the monitor volume control, followed by the headphone volume control. You'll find a 3-button sound effect pad which you can mess around with using the Tascam software. You'll find
The effect on-off button, which you can mess around with in the software and activate by pressing this button.
And the last thing you'll find is the on-air button, and if you have this mixer set to the broadcast mode and you turn on-air on, this will send the microphones, the headset, the tablet, and the computer's playbacks to your streaming or recording software. On the front of the interface, you'll find a 6.3mm headphone port, which does offer latency-free monitoring. You'll find a 3.5mm headset port, which you can connect a TRRS headset to. You'll find an additional 3.5mm microphone input, which you can use to connect a headset mic to if it has a headphones and microphone plug. Next, you have a 3.5mm stereo input for a tablet or external sound source. And the last thing you have is a switch to go between creator and broadcast mode. Creator mode is what you'll want to use for recording in a DAW where you only get the microphone inputs recorded. And the broadcast mode is used when streaming or podcasting, and it mixes everything to a mono mix and records the tablet input and computer playback to your software. Lastly, on the back, you'll find RCA monitor outputs, which you'll run to powered monitors. You'll find a power on-off switch. You'll find the USB port, which you can run to your computer or your tablet. And you'll find the 5-volt DC power input, which is required if you're running this into a tablet. Now let's go ahead and walk through the Tascam Mini Studio software. So the first thing you'll find are the settings for both mic 1 and mic 2. On both of those, you have the ability to switch between different presets as well as add different effects, which will be activated by the effect button on the interface. Now let's go ahead and walk through all these different presets. Right now, I am speaking into hard spoken. Now I am on hard vocal. Now I am on soft spoken. And now I'm on soft vocal. Now we're set to the expert setting, and up here at the top of the screen, you will select the expert tab, and it allows you to add your own equalizer, compressors, effects, and all of that stuff. Now I'm back to the raw audio signal, and let's go ahead and test out some of these effects.
Now I'm using the male sound effect.
Now I'm using the female sound effect.
This is what the chopper sound effect sounds like. This is what the echo effect sounds like. And this is what the radio setting sounds like. Now I'll set my reverb volume to 50% and walk through each of these settings to show you how they sound. Now I am using the live reverb. Now I'm using the studio reverb. This is how the room reverb sounds. This is the plate reverb. And this is how the hall reverb sounds. And the last thing you'll find in the software are the settings for 3 sound effect buttons that are on the actual interface. The presets they have on there are no, you have yes, and then you have applause. And those are just the presets that are loaded when you download the software. By double-clicking on these, you're able to load whatever sound effects, or if you're doing a podcast and you have different themes for portions of your podcast, you can set that here, and then by pressing 1, 2, or 3 on the interface, you can activate those. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut up, drop the gain down to 0%, and slowly increase it so you can hear what kind of noise is generated by the preamp. %. 75%. 100%. Now I'm running the Shure SM7B into channel 1 set on the dynamic setting, and my gain is set at 100% to get this level, so this will give you a good idea of the amount of gain that this preamp has. Now I'm going to go ahead and play some guitar plugged into channel 2 and let you hear how the guitar sounds raw, as well as with some amp simulators on it. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of how this setup could work in a podcast setup.
Hey everybody, welcome to the test episode of the Bandrew Says podcast.
What's going on, bros? Oh! So how are you doing today on this podcast? I got some pretty background music playing. I'm setting the mood on the iPad with the horns. Yeah. All right, guys. So as you could tell, it's very easy to get obnoxious with this setup. So if you do end up picking this up, please just use some common sense and don't be annoying. So overall, I think this is a pretty unique interface. Does it have great mic preamps? No. Is it built really well? No. Are the presets any good? Not really. But does it have a bunch of features in it that would be fun to play with during a live stream? Absolutely. So with that being said, I'm not going to recommend it for anybody who's trying to run a professional studio or record music. But if you're just doing live streams on Twitch or YouTube, or you want to add a little bit of extra flair to your live podcast, I would highly recommend this because it's just so much fun to play with. All right, guys, well, I guess that'll do it for today. If you found this video fun, interesting, or helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up.
If you thought it sucked, give me a big old thumbs down.
If you want more, go ahead and subscribe by clicking the logo beneath me. And also, don't forget to vote for the microphones that you want reviewed next, as well as follow me on all the social media stuff. Links to everything in the description down below. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.